Hello all and welcome to TVM Academy. This is RC number 59 of our free practice course VARC 100. If you are new to this channel, you can sign up, register for this free course on our portal. The link is available in the description box of this video. Let's begin RC number 59. So a quick synopsis. In the first paragraph, author tells us about Shaw's philosophy of art. He believed in the concept of or the philosophy of art for morality rather than in art for pleasure. So Shaw believed that great artists write out of moral passion and not out of love for art or love for beauty. Beauty could be a byproduct of art, but it is not the inspiration behind artwork. The inspiration is morality, art because of moral passion. Shaw believed this. Okay. In the second paragraph, author tells us about a unique aspect of his philosophy. So he also believed that artworks become outdated with time, just as the ideas behind them become outdated with time. Therefore, renewal in art actually means a renewal in the underlying philosophy of arts. Finally, in the third paragraph, author tells us that Shaw also believed that moral problems, morality, changes with time. And because moral problems change with time, artworks, however great, lose relevance with time. Therefore, if you want to understand an artwork completely, you should also understand the moral and historical context of that art. When was this artwork created? What was the moral and historical background context behind the creation of an art piece? Because with time, as moral problems change, this artwork is bound to become irrelevant, or it is bound to lose its moral relevance. That is what Shaw believed. Okay, nice passage. To the questions. According to the author, Shaw compares art to tooth pulling in order to show what? Okay, in the first paragraph, Shaw believes true art, on the other hand, is not merely a matter of pleasure. True art is not a matter of pleasure, not merely a matter of pleasure. It's more than that. It may be unpleasant. And then he compares art to tooth pulling. Therefore, what is he trying to do? Shaw compares art to tooth pulling to show that it may be unpleasant. Pleasure is not the sole purpose of art. It is not merely a matter of pleasure. Okay. Option A, the moral relevance of a work of art must be extracted from the epoch in which it was created. This idea comes later, third paragraph, not the first paragraph where author uses or rather Shaw uses the metaphor of tooth pulling. True art is painful to the senses. Tempting choice. The only problem with this answer choice is, which is a little extreme. In the passage, Shaw suggests that true art may be unpleasant, maybe. And option B says true art is unpleasant. It is painful to the senses. Not necessarily. It may be. Pleasure is not the sole purpose of art. Option D, therefore, should be the correct answer. And from which sentence do we arrive at this option? From this sentence, true art is not merely a matter of pleasure. It's not merely a matter of pleasure. It's more than that. So pleasure is not the sole purpose of art. Okay. Option C, even the best works of art go out of date. Again, this idea was present in the second paragraph, not the first paragraph, where the metaphor was used. According to the author, Shaw's didacticism was unusual, was different. In what sense? Okay. Second paragraph, direct answer. But Shaw's didacticism takes an unusual turn in its application to the history of arts. Because he thinks that ideas go out of date, therefore artworks also, best works of art also go out of date. So basically, he believes that historical context is important. And as the moral problems change, as the context changes, artworks also lose their relevance. Therefore, the unique aspect of his philosophy was historicism. An artwork must be understood in the historical context. Okay. Was morality or the moralistic view of art The unusual aspect of his philosophy, quite the opposite. It was not different, it was in fact common to many other philosophers of art. First paragraph of second, first line of the second paragraph mentions the history of aesthetics affords more examples of a didactic view, which means there were many other philosophers of art who also believed in the didactic view or the moralistic view of art. Didactic is moralistic, art for morality. So there were many other philosophers of art who also believed in the moralistic view of art. Therefore, his philosophy was not different in terms of moralism. His philosophy was different in terms of historicism. Okay. Can be inferred from the passage that Shaw would probably agree with all of the following statements about Shakespeare, except, okay. So here he says, second paragraph, Shaw, whose essential modesty is as disarming as his pose of vanity is disconcerting, extra information, side information. Basically, this sentence means Shaw was essentially modest. At the core, he was a modest human being. He was humble, but he pretended to be arrogant. He wore a pose of vanity. Vanity is arrogance. Too much pride. So he was essentially humble, but he pretended to be, vain. He pretended to be arrogant. But this is side information. The main sentence is Shaw assigns to himself the role not of the master but of the pioneer. Okay, let me write it down for better understanding. Shaw calls himself a pioneer and not a master. He does not call himself a master. Okay. The role of a Marlowe rather than of a Shakespeare. So he calls himself, he compares himself with Marlowe rather than Shakespeare. Now, from this equivalence, it is clear, therefore, that he believed Marlowe was a pioneer. Marlowe was a pioneer. Shakespeare was a master. Shakespeare was a master. So Marlowe invented new philosophy of art or new kind of art. Shakespeare did not invent any new art. He simply mastered the art. He mastered an existing form of art. Okay. So he was a master. So about Shakespeare, therefore, let us check out options. Option A, Shakespeare wrote out of moral passion. General philosophy of Shaw was that great artists write out of moral passion. Therefore, Shakespeare, most likely, Shaw would believe that he also wrote out of moral passion. Therefore, not the answer. The question says except. Option B, all of his plays are out of date in some important respect. This is a modifier, which is nice. Now, Shaw believed that ideas go out of date, therefore artworks also go out of date. And therefore, he would probably believe, he would agree with this statement that all of the Shakespeare's plays are out of date in some important respect today. Yes, he would believe, not the answer. He was the most profound, Shakespeare was the most profound and original thinker of his epoch. Original thinker is pioneer. But according to Shaw, Shakespeare was merely a master. He was not a pioneer. Marlowe was a pioneer. Therefore, no, Shaw would not believe this. Therefore, the correct answer. He was a greater artist than Marlowe. Yes, he was a master. So he was a greater artist. Artist-wise, he was great. But he was not a pioneer. He did not invent any art form. He mastered an art form. So yes, artist, as an artist, he was greater than Marlowe. He would believe. Okay. Option 4. Question 4. The ideas attributed to Shaw in the passage suggest that he would most likely agree with which of the following statements? A broad question. Every great poet digs down to a level where human nature is always and everywhere alike. Now, if we have understood anything about Shaw's philosophy of art, we should understand that Shaw believed in non-constancy. Change is the only constant, was his basic philosophy. He believed that ideas change with time, therefore artworks also lose their relevance. Moral problems change with time, therefore artworks also lose their relevance. If moral problems change, if ideas change, then how can human nature be always alike and everywhere alike? This is constancy. And Shaw did not believe in constancy. So, if at all, from the basic stream in the passage, from the central theme of the passage, we can figure out that this is contradictory to his belief, not the answer. A play cannot be comprehended fully without some knowledge and imaginative understanding of its context. Shaw believed that an artwork must be understood with respect to the historical and moral context of that time, of that era. Moral problems change, artworks also change, they lose relevance, which means an artwork cannot be understood, a play, a book cannot be understood fully without the historical understanding or the contextual understanding. Yes, he would believe so. Option B should be the correct answer. A great music drama like X springs from love of beauty, not from love of art. Neither. Shaw believed that great art springs from, uh, moral passion. And option C does not mention morality. Great art does not spring out of love of art or love of beauty. It springs out of morality or moral passion. So contradictory to the basic philosophy, basic Shaw's philosophy. Okay. Morality is immutable. It does not change. Okay. Morality does not change. Last paragraph itself, Shaw withstands the view that moral problems do not change. Now, some of you might have gotten confused here with this word withstand. If you withstand a storm, we often use this expression to withstand all the problems. He withstood the problems. To withstand storm means to stand strong against problems or against storm. Which means if Shaw withstands the view that moral problems do not change, he stands strongly against this view. And if he's against this view, he believes that moral problems also change. And option D says morality does not change. He's against this view. He withstands this view. Therefore, option D is also contradictory to Shaw's philosophy or Shaw's belief. I hope you enjoyed. Especially question number 3 and 4. They were nice. 1 and 2 were ridiculously easy. 3 and 4 were nice questions. Hope you got them all right. Until next time, bye-bye. Cheers to you.